Hey, what is going on, guys? Shuckhax123 back. It's been a long time since I've had a video up, but now that school's just about over, we're gonna be coming out with a new season of the GTO. All right, we were invited to be back, as was Adam, but Adam had to decline due to his busy schedule. But us and the Houston Teanamo are back again, and we're looking to defend our title from last year. This year, the rules are slightly different, as there's only three tiers, right? Like three tiers, OU and below right now. Um, we have three from OU, three from UU, three from RU, and this year we have one Uber Pokemon. Now, a lot of the rules are kind of the same, where you have to have a handicap on one of your Pokemon, but Uber Pokemon are special. If you have an Uber Pokemon, it has to have two of the three handicaps, and that does not count for your team's other handicap. So, should you bring an Uber Pokemon that you drafted, it has to be double handicapped plus another Pokemon on your team has to be handicapped. Because of this, Ubers are not exceedingly broken, although they are still significantly stronger than your average Pokemon. Um, Other than that, Greninja is slightly different because of the new Battle Bond, I think it is, ability that it has. Whoever has Greninja must declare at the beginning of the week prior to the battle whether they will bring Protean or Battle Bond or Torrent. Um, Otherwise, they may not use the Greninja. That's also Mega Pokemon. You get to choose when to Mega. Um, those are the major rules for this. Um, if you fail to like upload anything, you get differential problems, uh, but nothing that big. Um, and so you guys can see here that we have a new logo. Um, I drew it because last year's logo was not very good. So let's get into the team that we drafted. All right. So here was our draft. Our first pick, we went with Dialga out of Ubers. So this draft, we had to go like by tier, so we couldn't draft out of order. So we had it was like fifth pick, fifth or I'm gonna check now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we were the fifth pick in the draft. So a lot of the fun stuff like Arceus and Xerneas were gone. So I decided to go with a nice, reliable Pokemon that doesn't need to have four moves to succeed. It doesn't need an item to succeed. And you can take a hit on the stats if you want one of the other two rule sets. Because Ubers had to be double handicap, some of the like mods that I normally like Genesect, weren't that strong. So I went with Dialga. Dialga is going to be really fun, and just so we can see what Dialga is capable of, we see that it has a 150 base special attack, which is really high. 100 HP, 120 defense, 100 special defense. So this thing's going to be hard to kill. And move pool wise, we have Aura Sphere, we have your Dragon coverage. We can go with Earth Power or Earthquake. We got Fire Blast and Flamethrower, depending on if I'm risky, but I'll probably go Fire Blast. We have Flash Cannon to go stab with the 150 special attack. Ice Beam, which is really good coverage. So we have Fire and Ice, and we also have Electric with Thunder, Thunderbolt. We have Power Gem, which could be really nice if we need to use it. Other than that, you have Roar of Time for a nuke move if you want to use that. This thing has a lot of coverage. It's really bulky, I could use it to be a support with Thunder Wave, Toxic, Stealth Rock, um, Roar, Dragon Tail. I can also use it to be a coverage sweeper. So Dialgo's our first pick. I thought it was a solid choice. And then our next pick we went with was Magearna. So I didn't really know that much about Gen 7 OU or anything like that. So I was looking through and I'm like, what's going to be really good for me? And I was thinking I probably want to get a fairy type because I already have a strong dragon steel type. And I was looking and I'm like, I could go for Tapu Lele. But I wasn't feeling Tapu Lele. I've played with Tapu Lele a lot in VGC, like the first month or two after the game came out. So I kind of knew about that Pokemon. I hadn't really used Magearna except for like on Showdown for like a week. So I was like, Magearna seems interesting. I think I'll look at this. If you look at its stats, it has, again, nice defenses, 80 HP, 115 for both defenses. It's another really high special attack Pokemon, and its ability Soul Heart is really strong, because if you get a kill, you get increased special attack. It's kind of like the Ultra Beast with Beast Boost, although you can invest into defenses past what your special attack is. So if we look at this Pokemon, again, this one gets Aura Sphere as well. You get your fairy coverage in Dazzling Gleam, or you can use Floor Cannon. This also has Ice Beam. So Dragon types were something I was kind of over preparing for. I know that Dragon types are really strong. I know that Ground types are really strong. So because of that, I was going for Pokemon that had really good coverage. As you can see, this also has Energy Ball, so I have the choice between Energy Ball and Ice Beam to hit ground types. Focus Blast is also really nice. Flash Cannon with the special attack stab could be really strong. This also gets Shift Gear. So should I choose to use this as a sweeping Pokemon, I can use it. I can get it in on a nice matchup, Shift Gear, and then boom, this thing's really fast. Has really great coverage, and it could probably sweep a team with that. Other than that, I know that I know I can run a Calm Mindset with this. I can run screens because this does get both screens. It gets Volt Switch, which is really, really nice because you can use that to get around. It also has Solar Beam if I want to use, say, Grassium Z to have a really strong Grass-type nuke move. Other than that, it's pretty much what I'm looking to use this Pokemon as. I think it'll be fun. After that, I was kind of intrigued by the fact that I had multiple steel types, and I was like, hey, I think I want to take all the steel types away so that other people's teams are going to be really weak in general, because steel types make for a strong foundation in a team. So I was looking and I'm like, hey, Jirachi's still up. I can go ahead and get that. And if I look at my team, at that point I had Dialga and Magearna. Both of them are weak to ground types. Only one of them's weak to fighting. Only one of them is weak to fire. So it's kind of like having two of a type because none of them are, besides ground, none of the steel weaknesses are all super effective. So I went ahead. I got Jirachi. A lot of people know what Jirachi does. You have this fairy coverage, but we already have Magearna for fairy coverage if we need. We have good special coverage. We have good physical coverage. This Pokemon is a lot better use physically than especially on my team. So I'm looking to probably use it as a nice physical sweeper. I could run Scarf with Iron Head and Ruin Days. Um, I, I could use this as a tank with Stealth Rock, Substitute, Toxic. This thing gets Wish, U-turn. It can be very annoying to deal with, and it has one of my favorite moves to use, Doom Desire. If I want to go special, it's just to me, Doom Desire kind of lets you force the opponent into a situation, especially if you have like really strong Pokemon that can just force them to switch out. So if the person I'm going to go up against has a Pokemon that's weak to Steel as a major tank, I might go for Doom Desire, Jirachi, and with some other strong forcing Pokemon, force them to go into the tank and take a Doom Desire, or just lose whatever Pokemon they have. Um, this Pokemon has a lot of tricks up its sleeve, and it's going to be fun to use. Um, I'm actually kind of surprised it made it to the second round of OU. And then with my last pick in OU, we went ahead and got Gyarados, which doubles as Mega Gyarados. So Gyarados by itself is a pretty decent Pokemon. It's weak to Electric, but that's its main weakness. Rock types are also super effective on base Gyarados, but you'll see that we have 3 Steel types already. So if they're bringing Rock types, best of luck to them. And if they're bringing Ground types with Rock, then Gyarados is going to go ahead and hurt them. Gyarados with Intimidate, it can be surprisingly bulky. We can also run Moxie on it, and because we don't have to Mega Evolve on the first turn or abide by any of those restrictions, we can get a Moxie Sweep going if we want, and then Mega Evolve when we have to. We can, if we're up against a Pokemon that has fighting moves and we don't want to turn Dark, then we can delay our Mega Evolving. So it gives me some outplay potential. This thing has Waterfall. If I feel like risking it, maybe Aqua Tail, but I usually go Waterfall. Earthquake. We can always tech the nice Fire Blast or Blizzard. I think, yeah, Blizzard. This thing gets Iron Head, just deals some fairies. But the biggest reason why this Pokemon is going to be key for our team is that this thing can improve its speed and can take out ground types. So with the Water Stab, it's a big answer to the water or the ground types and the fire types with the Water Stab. Yeah. So this Pokemon is a great physical attacker, and when you add in the Mega, it just gets stronger. It has a 95, 109, 130 for its defenses, and after an Intimidate, not many things are going to be able to just one-shot this. So this thing can Dragon Dance and sweep teams by itself, pretty much. I can also use Gyarados as just an annoying tank. I used to do this in Gen 6 all the time, where I'd run a bulky Gyarados, and I'd run stuff like Thunder Wave, Waterfall, maybe Substitute if I wanted to, and it would just be there and disrupt. I can use Gyarados as a disruptor. I'm not obligated to use it as a Mega. So Gyarados, I think, is a very versatile Pokemon, even though at face value it seems one-dimensional. And now, getting into UU, we managed to get Latias. I was a little bit sad because I was looking between Mew and Latias, and I kind of wanted to get Mew, but the person right before me picked Mew. So It's alright. Latias probably fits with our team slightly better. It gives us a levitate Pokemon, so we have another way to deal with ground types, especially after Gyarados evolves. Um, we had this on our team last year, so we had this is a comfort pick. Getting it in UU is really great because this thing is truly an OU Pokemon. I don't care what Smogon says. This thing is amazing to use. You got Healing Wish, which lets us reset the life of one of our Pokemons. So if Gyarados is essential to our team, we can play risky with Gyarados if we have Latias on our team, and then go ahead and use Healing Wish, and then bring Gyarados back if he gets hurt or status or whatever. This thing also offers us with a nice Calm Mind Pokemon. We have Draco Meteor. We can run Life Orb Draco. That's really strong. It gives us a Psychic type, so we can deal with fighting Pokemon a little bit better. Um, you can always run Magic Coat, just annoy people. Reflect types can be really annoying. Um, this thing gets Ice Beam. Again, dealing with dragons easy. Energy Ball, good against ground types. It also gets Surf if I need to use that. We could use this as a trick Pokemon, so like Choice Specs Trick or Choice Scarf Trick. Um, Again, we can use this also as an annoying defensive Pokemon because you have Roost, you have Thunder Wave, you have Toxic. And then, other than that, you can also run a stored power set with the Calm Mind. So this Pokemon's really strong. It has a lot that it can do. Um, and it's okay with our team. It's not the best because we have multiple Psychic types now, so Dark and Ghost are kind of strong against us. But shouldn't be that big of a deal. If they bring Ghost types, Gyarados has a relatively easy sweep. And if they bring Dark types, Magearna can go ahead and take over. So after that, we picked Volcanion. Um, I have a draft philosophy where I like taking the strongest pick I can, not necessarily the best idea for a league, but if you guys remember in the GTL, um, at the end of every battle, we trade. So I kind of wanted to stack my roster with as much straight out power as I could. So if we win, we get to mold the team however we want, and we have a lot of power in case we lose and people take the stuff away from us. So even if we lose a couple matches, our team's going to look really strong. We picked Volcanion because of its innate strength. It has really high attack stats. It has a nice defense stat, which I never really realized how much defense it has. The major reason to get this Pokemon is because of Steam Eruption. It's a really, really strong water move. It's basically an enhanced Scald. It's amazing. You could also use Will-O-Wisp. This thing has good physical coverage. You got super power. You have Flare Blitz. You have Earthquake. That's pretty much all this thing's going to need physically. Especially you have Flamethrower, which is really strong. Steam Eruption that we already talked about. We could also run Hydro Pump, but there's really no reason. Steam Eruption is better in every single way. We can run. We can use this to kind of be like a special wall, in a sense, especially against bulky waters or special fire types. This thing is immune to water, 4 times resists fire, which is really nice because we had a little bit of a fire weakness earlier. And as I was saying, it can be good, especially defensive if you run an Assault Vest. This Pokemon I know can run the Assault Vest very, very well. So that's one of the items I'm looking to really use with this. I could also run Choice Specs. those are the two sets I'm probably going to use the most when I bring Volcanion. Um, Not the most uh, knowledgeable on how to use Volcanion, but I'm sure we'll learn how to use him over the season if other people don't take him away. Um, he's not crucial to our team, but he offers a nice fire type, nice water type. We already had Gyarados, but two water types isn't going to kill you. So then our last pick for the UU tier, we went ahead with Kyurem. Now, for some reason, I just really like Kyurem as a Pokemon. The fact that it has such high base stats means that you can do a lot with this Pokemon, even though its move pool isn't really the best. Typing wise, Dragon Ice. It's our third Dragon type, but we only have one Dragon weak to Ice type. This will be our second Dragon that's weak to Dragon itself. And Kyurem offers us a really strong Ice type, a really defensive Dragon if we want, with 125 hit points. That's ridiculous how much HP that has. 90s in the defenses means that we can invest into one of the defenses if we want, and it'll be really hard to kill. If we want to, we could run an Assault Vest on this thing, and this thing will be near unkillable in a single hit. If we look at its move pool, you got your standard Draco Meteor, you got Earth Power, you got Focus Blast, and then you have Stab Ice Beam, which is really strong. You have Outrage as a physical option. You have Stone Edge. You can run. Does this thing really have Roost? I don't remember this having Roost. That's actually really good. If this thing actually gets Roost, then this can be a really, really strong tank for us. I don't know if that's, actually usable, but if it does, then that's great. Substitute if we need. A set I've really been going around and using is where I use Z Dragon on this thing, and I have Draco Meteor and Outrage, and I run it as a mix set. So that way I can use a Draco Meteor if I want to just nuke something. I can also use like Z Outrage, and then you're not locked into it, but you get a strong physical hit. This Pokemon has a lot of power behind it. It's not the most optimized Pokemon like Nihilego, where all of its stats are going to be used. There's going to be games where I'm not going to use that 130 attack, games where I'm not going to use that 130 special attack, games where I might not invest at all into this speed. But this Pokemon has such a strong balance that you can pretty much do whatever you need to with it. Hopping down into RU, we got some Pokemon that I do not believe should have been there. Shaman in particular. I do not feel that Shaman deserves to be RU. I feel like Shaman deserves to be UU. Definitely. And the fact that it fell to us is very shocking to me. I believe right before we got Shaman, Delmise was taken. Yeah, Delmise was taken the pick right before we got Shaman. So I was very, very nervous, and we ended up getting him. Shaman, Seed Flare. That's pretty much all you need to know about Shaman. Shaman has Seed Flare. You got other coverage in Earth Power, Dazzling Gleam, I guess, Air Slash, I guess. You can run a Sustain set with Giga Drain, Leech Seed, but this thing, you mostly need to know this thing has Seed Flare. and that's going to be able to go through a lot of tanks. You got Tailwind and Synthesis to sustain more, get some speed for the rest of your team. You have Rest Natural Cure combo, which can be really strong. Um, Endeavor, which I'll keep that in mind. Probably never going to use, but this thing does have Endeavor, so beware, rest of the teams. This thing as well has Healing Wish. So between Shaman and Latias, we have multiple ways to heal back members. You have Aromatherapy if I want to use this as a team support. So Shaman, again, balanced stats, very useful on a team. Makes it annoying to prep for. And this thing can handle ground types, although it adds another fire weakness. Meloetta is probably one of my favorite mons to use. Although I admit it's not really the best Pokemon. Defense-wise, it has really good special defense with 100 HP, 128 special defense. 77 defense isn't that bad, and in its normal form, it can be a really, really strong, especially offensive threat. You have, if we just want to look at special moves that it gets, you have Dazzling Gleam for fairy coverage. You have Energy Ball, Focus Blast. You have Psychic, Psyshock. You have Hyper Voice. You can use Relic Song, but usually use that for the physically offensive Pokemon. And then you have Thunderbolt. So this thing has nice, decent coverage. It also gets U-Turn, which is really nice. It gets Trick, so you can kind of mess with opponents through this. This thing also gets nice physical coverage when it turns in, which you can use when you turn it into Meloetta Puriet, however you say it. In this form, its special attack and special defense convert into its speed and attack, and its old speed stat turns into its defense stat. So, in this form, if you want to make comparisons, it's more physically defensive, a lot better as a physically offensive sweeper, but it suffers in specials. So it turns into a normal fighting type, which is really nice. You have close combat and drain punch, should you choose to do them. You can always run return. You're going to have to run Relic Song on every single Metal or Period set, just because it doesn't come out that form. You can always use U-Turn on these sets just to get momentum, even if it makes it so you'll reset back to a normal Meloetta. You could run a Last Resort set, Relic Song Last Resort, if you want to go just ham on the normal stab. I usually like to run stuff like Relic Song, Close Combat, Drain Punch, and then maybe like Ice Punch. This thing gets Fire Punch and Ice Punch, which is really strong. Thunder Punch could be used, but I don't see me using it in this league because we have the Gyarados. So, now a nice thing about Meloetta is that since it is a normal type as well as a Psychic/Fighting type, it is immune to Ghost. So that makes it so Ghost types are slightly less threatening. Dark types still threatening, but Meloetta, if we can get it into fighting type form, really strong. And then one of the biggest reasons I've been focusing on Dark and Ghost types is because we drafted Hoopa, who has 2 weaknesses, if I am correct, and both of them are 4 times weaknesses. One of them to Dark, one of them to Ghost. Hoopa was kind of just like a troll pick in my opinion. I don't use Hoopa ever. I don't see myself really using Hoopa that much. But people were picking stuff like Wooper already, so I just decided to go ahead take Hoopa. I didn't really need anything else. It lets us say that everything in our draft has the potential to be 600 base stat or higher. So that's a nice thing. Um, this thing has strong psychic, a strong side shock if we want. We can also run hypers, whatever that psychic hyperspace is, hyperspace hole. So then people can't just stall us out. We have Phantom Force. If we want to run physical, we do have 110 physical attack. We also have nice punch coverage. Gunk shot. Ooh, gunk shot could be used. Um, ice punch knockoff. Nice moves like that. This thing is definitely a special attacker though, and I'm probably gonna use it as like a Shadow Ball psychic Pokemon. Uh, Probably gonna have like Trick Choice Scarf maybe, and at one point I may just decide to go ahead and go Assault Vest on this because this also has high special defense. So looking at our team and as a whole, this thing's good special attack, special defense, and you can use it as a physical attacker for coverage. This Pokemon, special attack, special defense, option to go physically offensive sweeper. This Pokemon, we can go defensive, we can go specially offensive. I don't really see myself using physical offense on this. So this is probably going to be like a support, tank, or especially offensive threat. This Pokemon mixed can do offensive, defensive, whatever. Um, this Pokemon, especially offensive, with nice defenses to go with it. Not really sustaining, but kind of like just to go out there, break a wall, make a hole in the team. This Pokemon, specially defensive, specially offensive. You can run it tanky support. You could also run it as just a fast setup sweeper. This Pokemon, set up and destroy. We can run it as a support tank, as we already mentioned. Uh, Physical sweeper, special sweeper, or annoying setup stall Pokemon. Calm Mind Sweeper if we want, or Autonomized Sweeper, depending on how we're feeling. And just in general, annoy the other team. So that's our team this year. Hopefully, we can bring the crown back again. Uh, we managed to win this league last year, so I'm confident that we can have a good season this year. I don't know if we'll actually win, but hopefully we'll at least make playoffs again and have a chance to defend our title. That is what our crown is there for. It's to show that we were the champions last year and that we want to go ahead and win it this year. Thanks, guys. Thanks again for watching, guys. We will be back, and this season starts this week, so look for a video coming within the next week or two. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day. See ya.